Josh Goldstein, your favorite immigration lawyer, coming at you right now. And I'm here to talk about immigration interviews. That's what we're talking about today. How do you crush your immigration interview? Um, Immigration interviews are one of the most important aspects of any kind of immigration case. And the reason is that this is what you've been working towards. This is what you've been doing. You've been preparing for your immigration interview the entire time. And once you finally get there, it's that magic moment where the immigration officer has your file and your file is open and they have the approval stamp on their desk and everything has come together. So, what can you do to make sure that you do your best in your immigration interview so that you give yourself the best chance to get approved? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So why should you bother listening to me? Well, I'm an immigration lawyer and I've been practicing immigration law for more than 20 years. And I have been to countless immigration interviews for asylum, for an immigration court. You could call that an interview. I've been to interviews across the country and in so many different USCIS offices. I've had easy interviews, I've had hard ones, I've had weird ones, I've had funny ones, I've had everything in between. And today I'm going to share a lot of my experience with you. Now, there are 5 rules that I have. So people always ask me, what documents do you need to bring to your immigration interview? And today I'm going to share with you 5 rules that I have for all my cases that I use to make sure that my clients have all the documents that they need. And after I share these with you, I'm going to take questions. I'm going to answer any questions you have about immigration interviews or anything of that nature. So first of all, when it comes to documents and immigration interviews, what you need to know is that your goal is to make sure that by the end of the interview, whatever document that the officer asks you for, you have it. Does that make sense? Anything they ask you for, you have. If they ask you for a document and you don't have that document, you screwed up. You did it wrong. You failed the test. If you leave the interview and every document that they ask you for, you have, then you pass and you did it. So that's the goal. The first thing that you need to know, the very first thing, is that you need to bring every single document with you. Every document that has any possible, maybe even a little bit of potential relevance to your case. That's a document you need to bring. And that's it, full stop. No excuse. You have to bring all your documents with you. Bring everything. Because you really don't know exactly what the officer is going to ask for. They may ask for photos. They may ask for copies of your mother's birth certificate. They may ask for your driver's license. Who knows what they're going to ask for? And so when you're asking yourself, should I bring this document to the immigration interview? You have 2 choices. One, you leave it at home. And the second thing is you can bring it with you. Now, which do you think is more effective? Obviously, you're going to bring it with you. Okay? So you bring everything with you. That's the first rule. You bring it all with you. I don't care if you have to bring a wheelbarrow full of documents. I don't want you going to an immigration interview and leaving your documents at home. Okay, now you have all your documents with you. What's rule number 2? Rule number 2 is that immigration interviews, they're old school. You bring paper with you. When I say documents, I'm talking about pieces of paper. A lot of times people bring in their phone or an iPad and they're like, here, officer, let me show you my iPad. Look at this. No, that's not going to work. They are only with paper, and that's all you want to bring. Paper, paper, paper. They love paper. Now, in the future, someday we may live in a world with electronic filing where that's mastered and you could just bring in, you could upload everything, and maybe you can do that to some extent now, but let's assume that we're just doing paper now. All right, rule number 3. Rule number 3 is that the very most important piece of paper that you want to bring to your interview is the actual an actual copy of the interview notice. The interview notice is what you need to bring. Because at a lot of USCIS offices, they will not even allow you to enter the building unless you have a copy of the paper notice. So when I go to the interview, and I went to an interview today, I always print out a copy of the interview notice and I put it in my suit jacket so that I can easily access it and bring it. So put an extra copy of the interview notice with you before you go to your interview. Okay. The third thing that you need to know is that you need to bring all what I call original civil documents. What am I talking about? I'm talking about your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, your divorce certificate, copies of your criminal documentation, copies of your birth certificates for your kids, birth certificates for your mother, your brother, your cousin, death certificates, things of this nature. All of these, what I call civil documents, bring them in their original form. Now, when I say original form, what do I mean? Well, when you were born, there was probably a birth certificate issued. You don't need the birth certificate that was issued when you were born. A certified copy is sufficient. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about? All your original documents, bring them to the interview when they're civil documents. Passports, old passports, driver's licenses, old driver's license, things like that. Now, let's see. We are at rule number 4. New rule number 5. When you bring documents to your interview, you need to bring 2 sets. One copy for yourself, so you know what documents you've turned in, and a second copy for the officer. If you want to get really fancy and amazing, you could 2-hole punch it at the top, which is what they do for immigration. But you bring 2 copies. Those are the rules. If you follow those rules, you're going to do so much better in your interview. And let me review the rules again. First, the goal is to make sure you've brought all your documents. The first rule is to bring everything with you and leave nothing at home. Any document with any potential relevance. Rule number 2, paper only. No looking at iPads and iPhones. You got to bring a paper copy, print it all out. Rule number 3, the interview notice. Most important piece of paper, you must bring it. Rule number 4, bring all civil documents in their original or certified form. Number 5, bring 2 sets of copies of documents with you, one for you, one for the officer. Those are my 5 rules. Is that helpful? Does anyone have any questions about it? Put it in the comments below. I don't know where you're at right now. You could be on TikTok, Instagram. We're also live on Facebook. In the Facebook group, we have a Facebook group with 15,000 active members that talks about visa delay cases. And it's free to join, and I share content there on visa delay cases that I don't share anywhere else. We're live there. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, of course, Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it. I want to say hi to all my friends. We have friends from Staten Island tuning in, from the Bronx. We have 2 of the 5 boroughs covered. Anyone from Manhattan here? Let me know. It's been 23 months and still waiting on an I-130 marriage base. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So one thing I want to share with you before I get to the questions, each week in our team meeting, which we had today, we start off the meeting by sharing our wins. And there were 2 wins that really struck with me. One is, we got visas approved, 6 visas for a single family. One family with 6 people, 6 visas issued. We got that approved, and they've been waiting since 2016. And I'm so incredibly proud to help this wonderful family. And the second thing is we also helped someone get approved for asylum who'd been waiting for many, many years. He's from Iran originally, and it's wonderful to know that he's approved and he can now petition for his wife, his children, and he can be away. And now I'm going to take a few questions from the crowd. Let me scroll up. We have Dorang Dave from LinkedIn. Hello, sir. Adham Murad. My case went back to USCIS after I responded to a noir. It said that USCIS revoked because you didn't respond. What should I do? That's a good question. I don't really know what you should do because I don't know the details of your case, but I'd like to offer you some way of thinking about it, some questions that I have. First of all, it might be easier to just file a new case. I don't know, maybe not. But if you're a U.S. citizen and the beneficiary is your wife, excuse me, it's been a long day, then it might make more sense to just file a new case. So there's that. Secondly, you could do a motion to reopen your case and explain that it wasn't your fault. But you really want to work with a lawyer who's reviewed your situation, and I'd like to do that. If you want to contact us through the link in our bio, that's not a bad idea. Jamal Yusuf. I'm a super fan of Jamal. I might have to go out to Nebraska to celebrate with him. Would love to have him on our show. That'd be great. This is amazing. Jamal, hope you're there. If you're there, I'm going to invite you to come onto our show. I'll send you a text if you want. That would be really nice. So what other questions do you have right now? What questions do you have? I'd love to answer any questions that you have. I'm not sure I can answer them, but I can certainly try. I'll be taking questions from people on wherever you are. 221G, proof of relationship from Adham Murad. Proof of relationship. The case is closed. What does that mean to say the case is closed? Why is the case closed? What happened? It says here, can someone under withholding of removal apply for the DV lottery? Well, you can apply for the DV lottery, but your question, I think, is can you get a green card through the DV lottery if you've been living in the U.S. with withholding of removal? Well, I'd have to review the facts of your case very carefully before I can answer that. But my guess is you probably cannot, unfortunately, because if you have an unlawful presence, you're disqualified from getting a green card through that process. So that's unfortunate. What other questions do you have? Let's see here. It says if someone went to jail for minor things at 16, can they get a visa? Well, I don't know. It depends on what the minor things are. If you went to jail for a traffic offense, you might be able to get a visa. If you went to jail for something that you think is minor, but it was like an assault charge, it might be a little bit harder. Let's see. What other questions do you have, people? Here's one on Instagram. I'm the victim of a forced disappearance and arbitrary detention. And the false accusations. Am I eligible for asylum in the U.S. or Canada? You may be able to seek asylum in the U.S. You have to be physically in the U.S. to seek asylum, although there are some new exceptions to that. But yeah, I mean, if you're afraid to return to your home country because of certain types of persecution, then you could apply for asylum. Let's see what other questions we have. Mila says, how are you, sir? Please answer my question. Okay, I will. Can I sponsor myself through a bank account? How much money should I keep in for sponsorship? My visa category is F21. I've lived in California. I have 2 U.S. citizen kids. No, I don't think you can sponsor yourself. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you sponsor yourself? I'm not quite sure. Sonny says, how long does the NVC take to schedule interviews at the U.S. consulate in Islamabad? DQ in February. They take way too long. It's kind of ridiculous. It is crazy how long that they take. So long. Let's see here. Frank says, after your individual interview with the court, how long does it take to get your results from the court? Well, that's kind of like saying, how long is a piece of string? It depends. Sometimes the judges, most of the cases that I've had, the judges will make a decision at the hearing, at the end of the hearing. Here's EBK. Good luck, Frank. Good luck. Here's EBK. I'll read this. I applied for a fiancé visa October 21st. She had her interview May 23rd in Abu Dhabi. She got the 5535 under 221G. My fiancé is in Iran. When is a good time to do the lawsuit? I think you could do the lawsuit now. These are the things that we like to work on and we like to help people with. You right now should be in the U.S. with your fiancé. You should be together planning your wedding and your honeymoon instead of worrying about a lawsuit. But nevertheless, this is what you need to do, and we can help you. Yeah, I just wanted to get on. So we have. Why don't you let me know where are you contacting me from? Where are you located right now? I'm in downtown Los Angeles. It's kind of a chilly day here. Where are you located? Please let me know. I'd love to hear it. We have someone from the Bronx. Are you from Pakistan, Iran, Tennessee? Let me know. I would love to hear that. That'd be very interesting for me. And I'm grateful for all of your time. Cairo, Houston, love it, love it, love it. Let's get back to Adham Murad, our brother from Cairo. Let's get his questions. I love the Egyptians. They're the best squash players in the world. I'm a squash fan, and they're the best of the best. All right. Let's see. Adham. Proof of relationship. The case is closed. Says here, trying to find your, maybe you could post a little more details about what's going on. Adham is a squash player. Wow. So our firm represents professional squash players who are seeking immigration status in the U.S. So we're proud to do that. Noor El-Sherbini is my friend. The Warrior Princess. Tell her I said hello. She's amazing. The best in the history, not just the best player, best female squash player in the history of squash, probably. She's unbelievable. I am friends with Noor El-Sherbini's cousin, Mohammed El-Sherbini, who is an amazing squash player. He's in the top 20 on the PSA. But enough about squash. We're talking about immigration. Let's see. Let's take some more questions here. What questions do you have? What questions do you have? I'd love to hear your questions. Carlos Morales. After evidence is requested and delivered, how long does it take to get a green card? Well, it's very difficult to say. It depends from case to case. But I think once you get a request for evidence and you turn in all the information, it shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 months to get a decision. It often does. And if your case gets stuck and it drags on and on and on and on and on and on, and you don't get any decision, what can you do? Well, at that point, I think you should reach out to us and tell us about your case and we can tell you if we can help you out. That's what you should do. You really should, because if you keep waiting and waiting and your case just drags on, something bad will happen. Maybe it'll get denied. Let's see. How long does an asylum case normally? How long does an asylum case take? This is a question from Instagram from Zifu. Well, here's another question. How can you reach us? In my bio, you'll find contact information. You can also reach me. Here is my email address. I will put it here. It's joshua@jgoldlaw.com. You can also find our information in in our bio. You can also call us. My phone number is 213-262-2000, 213-262-2000. Many, many ways to reach us. Or send us a DM if you're on Instagram or LinkedIn. How long does an asylum application take? It takes a very long time. Very long time. We have Vico Corbasio joined us. She is one of our amazing directors of client engagement at our firm. She is amazing. She joined us here on Instagram. It was great to see. Type the number. Okay. Someone asked me to type the number. Sophia Morgan. Here we go. That's our number. I can also put this. Let's see here. I will put some information here. There. Now, if you're on YouTube, you can see our phone number right above my large forehead. Okay. Oh, here we have Alicia. I was one who's too shy to say hi to you during Oxnard Labor Day weekend. Well, it's glad that you're here saying hi now, and I hope you had a lovely time in Oxnard. I did too. I had a sighting, ran into someone. Sophia is in Jamaica, where I had my honeymoon. That was amazing. So I'm always happy to hear from people from Jamaica. So let us know what your question is. Alicia, how can I help you? What's going on? Hope that all is well with you and you don't need any of our help. But if you do, we're here to help. Adnan, another question. If the case was revoked because of lack of evidence is enough, and we still get married and collect evidence, will we get the visa at the end of the journey? Well, I think you're onto something, Adham. If you applied for a fiance visa and the fiance visa application was unsuccessful, there's nothing to stop you from getting married and applying for a green card through marriage. You will get the visa at the end of your journey if you're eligible and if you qualify. And one of the challenges with those cases is proving that you have a genuine relationship. And there are many ways to do that. Elijah says, can you do a change of status to B2 from H-1B because of layoffs and get a new job while the change of status is pending? Or do you have to withdraw the B1 and go ahead? I was laid off, now in the grace period looking at options. I am not an expert on this to answer this particular question, but I have attorney colleague friends who are, and I can refer you to someone if you send me a message. Someone who's an expert at these sorts of things. Sophia said, are we on WhatsApp? We do have a WhatsApp account, and I will post the number in just a moment. Let's see. Our WhatsApp number is 213-513-7775. I'll post it. 213-513-7775. This is our WhatsApp number, and you can only text that number. You can only text to that number. But if you're on WhatsApp and you like using WhatsApp, you can message us on WhatsApp at 213-513-7775. Hope that helps. If you call the number, I actually don't know what happens, but we can't take calls at that number. But we do answer messages and chat, and that's on our website. How long does it take? This is from Angel Heart Production. Wonderful picture there. How long does it take after submitting a request for evidence medical for USCIS to acknowledge receiving it? Well, what you're looking for there is you're looking for an approval of your green card. What I would do is go to the USCIS case status and create an account and enter the receipt notice for your I-485 and set up automatic notifications for status updates on your I-485. Because the main way that they'll acknowledge that they received your medical is by giving you a green card, hopefully. That's the best way. So it's now we have Mira Rabir. I'm asking you, but you're not seeing it. She says, hi. I'm going to go back. She says, can I apply for a work permit? My F1, mom applied in 2010. Now, to apply for a work permit, you have to have some other basis for the work permit. So that means typically you have DACA, or you have TPS, or you've applied for a green card and you have a pending I-45, or you've applied for asylum and you have a pending asylum application. There has to be some underlying basis for the work permit. So if you tell me a little more about your situation, I can tell you whether you might have the ability to apply for a work permit. Mohammed Khalil, hi Josh. Why doesn't history matter to the U.S.? I couldn't file for 2 years because of the travel ban. And when a new administration came, they said we want to right the wrongs of the previous administration. I gave an interview 20 days ago in administrative processing. That's unfair. We've been separated for 5 years. Mohammed, I am sorry to hear that you're in administrative processing. You should have been reunited with your loved one years ago. And I'm really sorry, but I absolutely would love to help you. I would love to help you reach your immigration goal. And if you are in administrative processing and you're stuck and you want to get out of administrative processing, you want to get approved, I would love to help you do that. Reach out to me. I can help you. What other questions do you have? We have another question. I'm in trouble from Jamaica. Love Jamaica. Had a wonderful time there when I visited. I went to the Cliffs of Negril. It was beautiful. Lovely people, lovely country. We have Zafir Rama. Thank you for joining us from YouTube. Josh, I just got naturalized. Congratulations on getting naturalized. That's awesome. You should register to vote, get a passport. I love it. It says here, just got naturalized. Can I sponsor my parents as their asylum applicant case is pending? Does filing for them, is it okay through? So the answer is yes. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can petition for your parents. One question that I would have is, how did your parents enter the U.S.? If they entered with a visa and a passport and inspection, then they could be eligible for adjustment of status. And that's something to explore. I could help you with that as well. Sophia asked me to look at her earlier post. She says she's going to text me on WhatsApp, which is great. She's on, I'm looking for your question. Type the number, she said. I'm looking for your question. Maybe, here it is. Sophia says, just checked my case online and mine is approved. Okay. The affidavits and the joint sponsor were uploaded and it shows submitted and uploaded. Okay. I'm not sure I understand your question. Are you approved or are you not approved? Maybe you can. So going back to Zafir Rama, apparently his parents entered on a B1, B2 visa. And if they have a pending asylum application, then I think you may have a very good chance of being able to get them green cards through a petition. And I could help you with that case. I would also want to know whether they're in immigration court, and hopefully they're not. We can also withdraw their asylum applications once they get their green cards because they won't need it. So I think that your citizenship is going to be very useful to your family, and asylum is very hard. And so this is something good to be avoided. And Sophia, I hope you post more details about your situation so that I can try to be of help. I really want to be of help to everyone here and try to answer questions in a way that's very constructive and helpful. So please put a lot of details so that I understand what's going on. So Nambia Tilakum, thank you for tuning in on YouTube. She says here, my son went to the interview in Togo. They asked me for a DNA test and they sent it back to them. How long does it take them to get back to me and my son? Well, it shouldn't take them long. DNA evidence is, it's irrefutable. And if your son is truly biologically your son, then they should be inclined to issue the visa, right? So I don't think it should take long. Now, sometimes it does take long, and if it does take long, um, then you should reach out. So Mohammed Khalil says, I already contacted you, Josh, and you advised to wait 6 months in administrative, and then you can file. It's not your fault, but we were in distress more and more and more waiting. Well, I'm sorry, Mohammed, but let me explain to you why I told you to wait 6 months. It's not because I don't have empathy for your distress. It's not because I want to make you wait. I want to help you. It's because if you hire me and you pay me your money to provide a service, I want to make sure that you have a good outcome. Because if you hire me and we file the lawsuit prematurely, then you'll have a disappointing experience. And as frustrated as you are now, if you hire me and you have a bad outcome, you'll be even more frustrated. So it won't do you any good. I know from experience that the lawsuit to challenge the delay will unlikely be probably won't be successful if you file it prematurely. So please understand my thinking and know that it was a sign of respect that I didn't want to take your money unless I thought I could help. So we just have to wait a little longer. And hopefully you don't even need my help. And if you get approved tomorrow, which I hope you do, I hope you come back and post that so I can congratulate you. If you're still stuck, we would be delighted to help you. We would. We truly would. I hope this helps. What other questions do you have, everybody? Let me know.